Today I felt called to do a focused arrow tarot card spread for us. And I want to name a lot of cards came out when I was shuffling the cards. So I think there's kind of like a two-part reading here. So I'm going to go through it and take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, so this is a focused arrow tarot spread for focused direction. So the first thing that came through was where we're headed now. We got the Page of Pentacles and we got the Seven of Wands, right? So where we're headed now is a space of like balance, self-assurance, a space of, it's almost like we are holding within us that which we need. Like we're headed towards a space where we have cultivated the powers that are needed, the magic that is needed, the skills that are needed, and we're going to be carrying those forth with us. I think it's really important for us to note that in both these images, these women, these individuals are really holding their energy very strongly in their core here, right? By her heart space with that, in her core with this, right? To me, what this speaks to is we're moving towards a space where our power is coming from within. We're moving towards a space where we cultivate the power within. We're not looking outside of ourselves for someone to give us power, but rather we are learning to cultivate inner power. The other card that came out for this one is the Hierophant. So as I said, we have kind of like two messages going on here. So simultaneously, are we invited to, this is where we're headed. So we're headed in a direction where we're going to be balanced, right? We're going to be protected, right? But we're also headed in a direction where we're going to be connected with higher levels of wisdom, higher levels of power, higher levels of consciousness. It's almost like this here, this cultivation of inner power, this reclamation of our core power, the power that lives within us, right? Our God-given power, the power we were born with, is going to connect us in to higher ways of knowing, going to connect us in to larger consciousness. So then we have the support that's needed for the journey. So we got the Tower and we got the Magician. I want to really present that there are a lot of major arcana cards in this tarot spread, which means that this is speaking to something larger than the mundane, something bigger than just the everyday, something kismet, spiritual, something big, right? So this is the support we're needed for the journey. So this, again, we need to cultivate our inner magic, but we need to remember that our inner magic comes from a wellspring from source, right? We are not sourcing the inner magic solely from within us. We are working with powers greater than us to source this magic. We are becoming a wellspring for God power. We are becoming a channel through which source can work, right? The other thing that we got here is the Tower, right? So this is the support that is needed for the journey, right? We need to embrace the Tower moment. We need to embrace change as a natural part of life. We need to embrace the end of cycles because they will bring about new beginnings. We need to stop resisting change. We need to stop being so beholden and so loyal to old systems that we desperately keep them alive when it's actually time for them to change. So the support that we're needed is a full embrace of change, a full embrace of transformation, and a trust that we're not going through this alone, right? We are connected to higher powers and we are cultivating our magic, right? Remember, the direction that we are going is this more balanced, self-assured, protected, peaceful, connected in with higher wisdom, right? So the support that we need is we need to cultivate our own magic and remember that our magic is sourced from the divine, from source, the source from all, that which created all of us, right? Okay, so the capacities we need to grow in ourselves, we got this 10 of Cups and we got this 2 of Swords. So we need to believe that miracles are possible. We need to believe that we can have it all. We need to believe that good things are possible. We need to believe that all of it for all of us, that we can have it all, right? Like, again, this is the capacities we need to grow in ourselves. We have to believe that the direction that we are moving in will be better. We have to anchor in that belief, right? We also have to anchor in an ability to deal with all of this like frenetic chaos energy that's trying to convince us that this is not possible, right? Like all of this chaos energy that's coming in here and trying to get her to forget that miracles are possible, we need to ignore that. We need to get away from that. We need to stop giving our energy to all of this indecision, to all of this fear, to all of this noise, right? This person, right, the direction we're heading in, she is grounded, confident, standing, right? Like on that one foot, super balanced, right? Like we need to call in our ability, foster our ability to stay balanced despite all this noise and believe that good things are coming, right? Stuff is going to crumble. Stuff is going to fall away. But that doesn't mean that it's not for a better day to come. That doesn't mean that it's not setting us up for something better, right? We need to believe that the change will usher in our wildest dreams, right? And all of this distraction, all of this noise, right? It's just trying to keep us from accessing our power, right? It's trying to keep us from accessing our connection to divine wisdom, right? This is trying to keep us in distraction. So the capacity we need to grow in ourselves is a move out of this kind of chaos distraction and into just this easeful trust that things will work out. I don't know how, but somehow everything will work out. If I do my part, somehow everything will work out. If I can cultivate my power, right? Trust that I'm protected, connect in with higher forces than myself, somehow everything will work out, right? And like, again, this is what faith is, right? Faith is trusting that it will work out even when there's no proof, right? So this is about having faith, right? Okay, so what you need to let go of on the journey. Okay, so this is potent. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords, right? So we need to stop waiting. We need to stop waiting for someone to give us permission. We need to stop waiting for the right moment. Now's the moment. The moment's now. The only moment that exists is now, 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 now. So go and do it now, 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 right? You have a new opportunity every second. Every second you get to choose. So go and just do it, right? Because this is what you need to let go on the journey. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. Now is the perfect moment. Act and the moment will rise to meet you, right? Rise to meet this current moment, right? Don't sit inside wishing that you could do something. Do something, right? Again, what we need to let go of on the journey, right? Okay, so we got this King of Pentacles and this Eight of Wands. We need to stop competing with each other. We need to stop trying to prove ourselves, right? We're sitting here waiting to do something because we're so scared of what others will think of us when we do it, right? So many of us are so scared of what others will think of us, right? Like we need to go out there and do it, right? And stop trying to do it how everyone else does it, right? And stop trying to do it to prove something, right? Do it because you can't not do it, right? Because you came here to do it, not so that those people see you doing it and now they respect you, right? And don't do it in a competitive way. Don't do it in a way to try to prove your goodness, prove your rightness, right? Prove what side you're on. We don't need any of that. We don't need that. We need you acting like purely in your magic here, not in a competitive way, in a way that honors that we all have a role here to play and that we're not in competition with each other, right? There's also this invitation, right? Because this is what we need to let go of on the journey, right? Like any part of you that is scared to work with other people, scared to collaborate, scared to maybe step into your leadership and lead a group of people, that is standing in your way, right? Like you are a leader. Step into your leadership abilities, right? Stop comparing yourself to the leaders that came before because we don't need those old kind of leaders. We need you, right? So stop holding back. Get out there and do something, right? And let it be easy, right? Like lead from that place within you that feels like right, easeful. Like look at this individual, right? Like very easeful here. And so I actually, because this is in the place of what you need to let go of on your journey, is maybe you need to let go of this idea that it's going to be easy, right? And what I mean by that is we might have this perception in our mind that easy looks this kind of way, right? But maybe easy look, like for example, right? Like I had a really busy week this week and yet it was easy for me, right? It was easy for me to get the things done. It was easy for me to do the work, right? So again, right? Easy doesn't mean not impactful, right? Anyway, I'm losing my tangent here, but what you need to let go of on the journey is you need to get out there and do something, right? Both these individuals are just sitting up in the home. We need to get out there and do something. So now we have the fears you have in stepping forward. So super poignant that we got the Hermit in this position, right? There's almost this, like, you've gotten really comfortable being inside, being on your own. And now there's some fears of like how it's going to be when you go back out into the community. There's some fears maybe of how you're going to be received. There's some fears maybe that like you're really different now than you were before. And like, will you be able to connect in, right? And so these are like the fears we have in stepping forward. So all that's valid. I don't want to like belittle or like minimize that fear, right? And at the same time, we also got this 9 of Cups, right? And so this signals 2 things to me. One, like when we step out of here, we're going to be getting a lot of this goodness, right? But what it also signals to me is that there might be some fear of success here, right? That some part of you is scared of the success that you will get when you step forward. That some part of you is scared of the glory of all of the adoration and the love and the respect and the wealth that you might receive when you start stepping out and living in more balance, right? When you get out there and trust that you're protected, right? When you're cultivating your magic, there's some part of you that is scared. And I think that this is collective too, right? Because there's some part of us that is scared of the transformation, scared of how good it can get, right? Scared of letting ourselves dream big, right? We've been told this lie that like, you know, this is as good as it can get, but it can get way better, right? And so there's almost this like, this fear of like, how good can it get, right? And so all of us are invited to start shedding that fear and really playing into that energy of like, how good can it get? Like, how could it get for all of us if we stop compromising our values? How good can it get for all of us when we stop believing the lies that we can't insert the things that they say we can't, right? Like, we can do anything, right? And so again, the other piece here with the Hermit is that you have spent time cultivating this magic, right? Cultivating this power, right? Cultivating this relationship with Source. And so now it is time to step out. And so it's okay that you feel a little bit afraid. It's okay that you're, that you've just gotten comfortable being on your own, but now is the time, right? Like, cause again, this is what you need to let go of. You got to stop sitting at home. We need you out there. You got to stop just like sitting in there and you know what I mean? Thinking that something's going to change, right? Like, we got to get out there. We got to do something, right? Okay. And then this is what is holding you back right now. We got the 5 of Swords and we got the Moon. You got to trust yourself, boo. You got to trust in your intuition, right? Because this is what's holding you back, right? Any part of you that is doubting that like you're powerful, that you can do it, whatever it is that you're here to do, right? Like, we got to let that go. That's holding you back. You know what I mean? Similarly, right? All of this overthinking, right? All of this like need to do it right. All of this like fear of making a mistake, right? That is holding you back. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to stumble a little bit. We just need you doing it. It's okay if you fall down a couple times. It's okay if a couple things, you know, pottery gets broken or whatever, you know, like we still need you out there, right? You can see in this one, there's this like golden light shining on this person who's made it to the top of the mountain. And it looks like there's kind of like maybe some like blood spatter on the mountain, like things were rough getting there, right? But the light is shining down on them because they dared to try, because they dared to do it anyway, right? And so you don't need to overthink and you don't need to be perfect, right? Like, we need you just the way you are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it right. We just need you. We just need you the way you are, right? And with this Moon card, right? The Moon card is all about our hidden depths, all about intuition, all about like that which is not seen, right? So this is what's holding you back right now. Any part of you that is still buying into this lie that like if you don't see it, it's not real, that needs to go, right? There is so much more at play in the world right now that we cannot see. There is so much more going on in the universe that our human brains do not comprehend. This idea that if we don't understand it or we don't see it, it's not real is so narcissistic and so egotistical, right? There are so many more forces at play than we could begin to comprehend. And so there is an invitation here for you to start trusting in yourself, right? And to start trusting in the divine. Again, that's part of what this 10 of Cups was talking about, right? In that place of the capacities you need to grow in yourself. You need to believe that miracles are possible. You need to believe that we can all have it all, right? And again, where we're headed right now, right? More connection with our spiritual support, more connection with the divine, more connection with higher wisdom, right? But all of that comes from like getting really grounded in ourselves, right? From cultivating the inner magic within, right? But not in a way that keeps us isolated from everyone else, not in a way that keeps us hidden alone in our castle, right? We need to come out of the tower. We need to let the tower be shattered. We need to let it all transform, and we need to trust that as it's transforming, good things are coming, right? And that we have the power and the capacity to help shape the future, right? Yeah. Again, folks, this is feeling super potent, right? Like, we don't need to be trying to see it from every single angle, right? We don't need to try to understand everything, right? We need to start really figuring out, like, what is ours to hold? What is ours to do, right? Because we can't do it all. No one can do everything, right? But everyone has to do something. And you have a something you came here to do, because if you found this, you're super powerful. There are so many major arcana cards in this reading. Like, you are connected with forces that are higher than yourself, friend, right? Like, as you cultivate your inner magic, you will connect more in with higher wisdom. That's what's coming, right? And we need to cultivate that inner magic, cultivate that relationship with spirit, cultivate that relationship with all that is. And it's okay that you feel a little scared, like coming out of the closet, coming out and showing yourself. But we need you, right? The Hermit came here to shine the light. So shine the light, right? Shine that light. Do what is yours to do, right? And trust yourself, right? It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not do it perfect, right? The point here is to do something, right? To do something. And really, right, that something could be as simple as anchoring in the belief that, like, we will win, that people will win, that people will win over profit, that the earth will survive, that we will reestablish goodness and get an end to all of this harm, right? Wow, so this feels like a super potent reading. I'm feeling called to see what's at the bottom of the deck. And it's the Lover's card that's down there, right? We are at a choice point, right? We can decide how we want this to play out. We get to decide how this plays out, right? So do we want it to be awesome, filled with love and passion and devotion, right? Or do we want it to be more full of this confusion, more full of this overthinking? Like, you know, it's time for us to choose something new, something better, right? And again, right? Like, spirit's supporting us, right? So many of us are cultivating this inner magic right now, heading in this direction of power reclamation, right? Of this remembering that we hold the power within, and that as we connect within, we actually open up the channel to connect in with forces that are higher than ourselves, to connect in with the divine, with God, with our ancestors, with our guides, right? Whoo! Potent, potent, potent. All right, friends, so if you haven't, like the video, subscribe, share with your friends. Let me know in the comments, did other stuff come up for you? What came alive for you? How did this resonate? I really hope this helps, because again, right, like, we are creator beings. We shape this reality. Like, we get to decide. So we don't need to give all of our power away to these entertainment industries that profit off of our despondency, that profit off of our fear, that profit off of our, like, inability to do anything because we're so overwhelmed, right? So start unplugging from those systems, right? Start like cultivating your own inner power here, right? Like really be okay with the things that need to transform, both personally in your life and collectively on a big scale, right? Things are changing. This is a tower moment, friends, right? Like this was literally the support we needed for the journey, is to embrace the tower. So like, it's okay. It's okay. If you need some support, chat me right in the chat, you know, like we're all in this together. We all chose to be here right now. And you have a role to play, right? You have a role to play. All right, friends. Bye now.